know that many of us are running into this issue right now. Working with buyers, there's a lot more to choose from right now. And so suddenly it's not just, oh, I'll make an offer on any home. It's, I'm going to be selective. I really want to know that this is a home I want to live in. And what this causes is actually a lack of action or a lack of desire to waste time. Before, we were willing to waste a lot of time because we were just hoping to get whatever we could get. But right now, what we're seeing, what we're experiencing, and I'm sure that you've experienced this right now in your business, where your buyer is basically refusing to visit any property. You send them a property, they say, oh, this one's too whatever. Oh, the kitchen's too small in this one. You send them another property. Oh, the ceilings aren't tall enough. You send them another property. Oh, this has stucco in the front and I want, I don't know, something different. You understand, you catch my drift here. So there is clearly something happening here in your process where there's massive room for improvement, A. B, in correcting this, what you're going to find is that your buyers are going to be much more receptive to seeing the homes that you select for them. Because here's what we know. It's really easy to judge a home or judge a book by its cover. But here's what we also know is that sometimes we're wrong. But how do we effectively communicate that to the client where we don't feel like they're wasting their time? Well, it all happens at the beginning. You see, most of us aren't taking the time to have buyer consultations with our buyers. Well, that's a problem, right? Because we all know that setting expectations up at the beginning helps build trust. And it also helps negate a lot of the issues that we run into when working with buyers. If you're not doing a buyer consultation, we got to start there. And honestly, if you don't have a buyer consultation, you can drop a comment down below and I will send you some training that I think you would find useful. But anyways, let's move on. So in your process with a buyer, you should be doing the following. When you meet with them, we need to set the stage for exactly what's going to happen. And this is exactly how you frame it. First of all, you take them through a scale. And if you haven't watched that video, you should watch that video where I talk about taking your buyers through a scale. We use 1 through 7. Thank you, Isaac Guzman. So we use the 1 through 7 scale and we let them know, hey, Mr. Buyer, Mrs. Buyer, I just want to let you know that my commitment to you is this, is that I will never bother you unless I believe a home is a 6 or a 7. And so that is my commitment to you, is that if I'm going to ask you to take time out of your workday during the week, it's because this home is a candidate for purchase. Only a candidate for purchase. Anything else, we're not even going to bother with. Here's the thing though. There is going to be a time where I schedule a showing for a property and I send it to you in advance and you're going to tell me you don't want to go see it because of X, Y, or Z reason. And I completely understand why you would feel that way. In fact, I've had a lot of other clients who have felt the exact same way. And what they found is that when they see a home in person, it's completely different than what the pictures show. And so I'm only going to pick out properties that I believe are 6s or 7s in person. Maybe not on the pictures, but a 6 or a 7 in person. That is my commitment to you. So with that being said, do I have your commitment at this point to not prejudge a home before we go out and take a look in person? Do I have your commitment to do that, Mr. and Mrs. Seller or Mr. and Mrs. Buyer? And you've got them right there. You've built rapport, you've built value, you've built trust, and then all of a sudden, boom, you set the expectation up front. Now, here's the only caveat. You got to deliver. It's not just, hey, I'm going to do this, and then all of a sudden you take them and it's a dud. You might get away with 1, you might get away with 2, you might get away with 3, but let me tell you, like, the 3 strikes rule is real. So you got to know it. This is what agents used to do. It's called previewing. Remember that? Yeah, I forgot about it too. Preview the property. You can absolutely do that to make sure. Listen, hey, so-and-so, Mr. Miss Buyer, guess what? I saw this property and let me tell you something. I know you're going to prejudge the pictures and say that you don't want to see it, but let me tell you, after previewing it, you can say, I think it's going to be a 6 or a 7. We should go check it out. Set the expectation up front that not every home is a candidate for purchase in the pictures. And some of them might surprise you. We know as agents, and I can tell you many times I've had clients buy homes that they prejudged in pictures to not be candidates for purchase. They didn't think they were going to like it. And then all of a sudden, after seeing the home in person, wrote the offer, got it accepted. There's a concept I want to leave you with here, and this is something that you can communicate and convey to the client, which is I've learned in life that it is 100% okay to make predictions, but it is never okay to judge. I can make predictions all day long, but I'm never going to judge. And if you can convey that same thing to your client, listen, we can make predictions all day long about whether or not this home is going to be a candidate for purchase, but let's not judge it before we get inside. Sound fair? This is Danny Gould, everyone, selling Silicon Valley. Stay legendary, everybody.